Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Dolphin Reef. This is from DisneyNature. DisneyNature, it even says this is a Disney Plus original, even though it came out in 2018, technically, so I guess it's exclusive? I don't know. Either way, yeah, you can only find it here on Disney Plus. And this is one of those sort of live action, it's fully live action, nature documentary type things. Thankfully, they don't give voices to the dolphins and the other fish and the coral reef or anything. They don't make the coral reef talk, thankfully. It's all narrated by one person. That's why I wore this shirt. Natalie Portman. Yeah, so Queen Amidala. And every other character she's played over the last 30 years. She's just perfect for this. I know she cares about nature and she cares about all sorts of the environment and things like that. But what makes this special is just the tone in which she brings to the project here. That sounded so totally biz. She treats it like she's talking to her kids, like she's telling the story. It's a script, obviously. She's not talking off the top of her head or anything else. It's all scripted, but she adds her own voice to it, and it's kind of really neat. They try to focus on the dolphin, a dolphin named Echo, a young one, about 3 years old, and his mom. I can't remember her name. It's not a common name, but it basically does try to tell a story. It takes footage that they've collected at numerous dives around the world, off the coasts of numerous continents, either Africa or even Florida, Hawaii, Australia, I believe. And they cobble it all together into a single, a multi-layered narrative. It's again, thank God they didn't make them talk. But yeah, they give them all names and they give them attributes that are human-like. And not to say that dolphins are not exactly what they show themselves to be, but yeah, they give them human reasoning and story elements that make it seem like there's more going on than there actually is. Now, what they do in here is obviously not staged. They do show us how the dolphins hunt for food, how they relax, how they even sleep. I didn't even realize how dolphins sleep. I've actually learned more about dolphins and about undersea life in this documentary than I've learned in my entire long life. So yeah, it's actually really super informative, and it's not boring. It's not like very stodgy educational, and it's also not goofy and overly light. It's not trying to be dumb and doesn't talk down to you. It's genuinely, the characters are. It's a window into letting us see how they interact with each other, the dolphins, and other elements of the undersea environment. And of course, the story here focuses around a coral reef. Part of me thinks that the dolphins and the coral reef were completely different parts of the world. There's one point it looked like he was CGI'd in over the reef into being a hero to rescue some other character from another character. So yeah, I don't totally buy that all the fishes knew each other and they were all friends or anything. Let's not pretend that was real. But it's cute. I think, especially if it's for kids, I think it would really be appealing. And yeah, we know what's behind the magic. But I think this is definitely pointed more towards kids. But as an adult, you can totally get something out of this, and it's worth your time. And again, it's not just dolphins. There's a shrimp, like a mantis shrimp, with the greatest creepy, weird, spacey alien eyes. You see how he and the the coral reef and the different types of hump-headed parrotfishes and all sorts of other little tiny fish and turtles and then sharks, and then how they all work together to maintain a balance to keep the coral reef alive. One of those elements goes away, especially the sharks, even though they're the predators. One of those elements go away, a reef dies. And it's kind of a huge deal. When we mess with that kind of stuff, if we say hunt sharks or whatever, or mess with the environment enough to make the sharks not want to be there, total collapse. So it's definitely something that, yes, it has an environmental message to it, but it's not like, oh, bang you over the head, you gotta save the dolphins. It's natural. It says these creatures, when left to their own devices, can take care of themselves. Let's not mess that up, okay? Let's try to stay out of their way. They know what they're doing. Anyway, the one of my favorite parts, though, is basically Echo's. He's easily distracted. I think they just got that from the footage where they're just like, hey, that dolphin just keeps going off and doing his own thing. He sees a duck on the water or something like that, and he's just like, makes a left turn and starts following along underneath that duck or whatever. And while mom is left, what's going on here, and she can't teach him. That's the through line of his story. He just can't focus. He's a little bit of a loner, and he's got to doing his own thing until he gets old enough. He has to start hunting and feeding himself rather than having mom do it for him all the time. And what she teaches him, and I'm not going to ruin it for you because it's kind of awesome, but I'm going to say 2 words: mud rings. Mud rings. Stick around for the mud rings, which, when you see how they do it, if you've never, again, maybe you already know about how dolphins deal with this stuff, but not me. So I laughed out loud when I saw how they did this, and it's just like a feeding frenzy. It's kind of awesome. Stick around also, by the way, for the credits to see the crew at work as they are filming all of these fish, the coral reef and everything else. There are humpback whales and orcas also in this whole thing. There's a story that involves humpback whale, mom and child, and what's involved in her finding a mate, a champion who will protect her and her calf that she's just given birth to when they are in danger. And there's other humpback whales come from everywhere to be the guy for this gal, and they have to prove themselves in battle. And when the orcas show up, yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's some, yes, again, they're adding story to it as if they were human, but the drives and the needs of these creatures are no different. It's just embellished. But yeah, it's some breathtaking video. I don't have a 4K television, but if you have a 4K television, this is, and it's a big one. Dude, seriously, you gotta put this on Disney Plus. Bring this up and just watch it. If you don't want to hear Natalie Portman talk about fish, I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's perfect, and she's gorgeous, and I didn't even see one moment of her, but yeah, her talking about fish and dolphins and whales and everything else, it just accentuates just the absolute beauty of what they shoot here. It's the coral reef itself, just the detail, the amount of detail. I watched it on my computer, and my computer's screen, my monitors are great, but I can't imagine what a 4K television looks like showing this stuff. And Disney Plus has the capability of 4K to stream in 4K, so take advantage of that if you got it. Out of anything you can watch on here, I'm sure there's lots of great stuff you can see in 4K, but this is pretty freaking amazing. Also, I'm going to leave you with this. Hearing Natalie Portman say sand poop over and over and over is just hilarious. To me, sand poop. Okay. Queen Amidala. All right, let's pick tomorrow's Disney Plus Everyday Challenge episode selection thingy. 416. Let's see what we got. 416. Have we had it? No, we have not. And it's actually one I have not seen. It's a modern film, and I wanted to see it. I've seen the classic. Yes, it's a remake. It's another one of the Disney remakes. Although this one was always live action, sort of. I've seen the 1977 version. This is the 2016 version of Pete's Dragon. So that's what we're watching, the 2016 version of Pete's Dragon. Have not seen it? This is what Disney Plus Everyday Challenge is for, so I can see stuff I haven't seen before. All right, so here we go. I'll see you back here tomorrow with Pete's Dragon 2016 on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Bye.